Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me know you can hear the mic, see the screens. We're going to get started. I want to welcome everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching our stream of the week. My name is Lee Goldstein. Welcome to the U.S. Jobs Report, Canada Jobs. I'm the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. Trade carefully. Okay, good morning, everyone. I want to welcome everybody. We have a lot of visitors, and I want to welcome you all and a lot of new people. We're going to be getting started next week for the Mastery Program. You'll be receiving an email, and we're going to have a welcome webinar as well, a getting started webinar on Monday, it looks like. So let's talk about the jobs report. Now, if you want to trade Canada jobs, you can. Last month, quite a few of the indexes whipsawed, so it was a difficult trade last month. Canada was a stop, gold was a stop. This is all the news elements that make up the jobs report. You've got Canada and the US. And here's what's interesting. Normally a good jobs report would be good for the market. But nowadays, if we get a good jobs report where there's a lot of jobs created, it's going to be bad for the markets because it's going to keep the Fed most probably raising interest rates. So there's a couple of key numbers that are important. If there's too many payrolls created, that's going to be bad or negative for the market. And the average hourly earnings, if it goes much above 5%, that's not considered good either because that's inflationary. So it's kind of ironic that we're in a period, the economy seems to be very hot, certainly the jobs market. So it's an unknown what's going to happen. You never know. You don't want to trade planning what might happen. You want to trade what your plan is, okay? The other issue that everyone's going to have to deal with is the brokers have already raised margins. So that means for most of us, if you have a small account, margins are not set to day trade margins. They're set to overnight margins, or what sometimes they call it maintenance margins. To give you an idea, a lot of you are with Ninja Trader. And so this is definitely an event with high margin because the brokers basically, they really want to protect their money from us blowing up an account and not being able to pay for it. So keep in mind, if you're trading, even if you're trading micros, the margins are going to go much higher than $50. It's not going to be $50 today for trading a micro. And here's the other thing that you could expect could happen. So this is an event that could be very, very, very fast. Markets have been freezing during these types of events. So this is certainly an event that, if you're not an experienced trader, you should probably sit it out or just practice on sim. But we've been seeing the ES and the NQ freezing during some of these events, CPI, jobs. So you want to be very careful. Don't trade, more money than you can afford to lose, certainly. But you're talking, for the MES, the margins could be almost $275 instead of $50. Okay, so you want to keep in mind your margins for sure. Now, we have an oil trade which is what we consider the family money trade. The oil trade's been working very well. And oil margin with Ninja, keep in mind that gold margin is going to go to almost 7,000 per contract. Okay. Gold's going to go almost to 7,000 per contract. And then oil is also going to go to 7,700 in that area. Okay. So oil has high margin also. So you want to keep that in mind. Intraday margin is out the window. Low margins are out the window. High margins are in. So if you're trading, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. Everyone should know how to look up margin. If you have a broker account, something you must learn. The NQ, $17,000. That's how volatile they consider the NQ. ES, 11,000. Okay, this is Ninja. The MNQ, 1,700. MES, 1,100. Trade one contract. You really want to have double the margin in your account. Now, keep in mind, our orders create double the amount of margin because you're putting an order above the price and below the price. So it makes margin even higher. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'm only going to trade one oil contract and I'm right on the verge of not having enough margin. So I believe I'll be able to trade it. I'd rather trade multiple contracts, but I'm just going to trade one, but we should have enough in the account to cover the two orders that are going to be considered. Because when you have a breakout trade, you have margin above and below. So the DMM, we don't recommend today the ES range trade. Now, again, the breakout trade for the NQ, these are high risk moments. Keep that in mind. You know, these are high risk moments. Okay. The gold setup, I like the setup. It's a question of if you have enough money in your account and if gold behaves, right? You just don't know what's going to behave and what isn't. You've got a bracket of 25 on gold. You've got an activation time of 8:29:59. Okay. We've increased our stop up to 35. That's $350 per contract minimum. That's assuming, you know, it doesn't blow through the stop, which can happen on these fast moving trades. Okay. So you just want to be very careful. Targets, if anything, the targets are on the small side, but sometimes because the price can be so whippy, you're glad if you can get a 20 tick target before the market whips around on you. So if you trade one contract, you know, you might want to go for a 20, 25 tick target. Not unreasonable, especially given the size of the winning moves. The winning moves are quite big when gold wins. Okay. Now, I'm going to trade oil because it's been extremely reliable on this setup. Doesn't mean it's going to work today. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. But the oil setup is as follows. I'll show it to you. I'll show you on the DMM. So the ES range trade has not been behaving as well over the past months. That's why I'm not recommending it. A range trade can always work because the idea is you wait for the move and then you put your orders on after the initial shock to the market of the news. Okay. The NQ has a 40 tick bracket, a stop of 50, and a target between 25 and 50. Remember, the margin is ultra high. What did we say? It was like 17,000. So you got to have a pretty big account. You need 2 times 17,000. You need a $50,000 account to trade the NQ today. Okay. Oil is a bracket of 10. It's a breakout trade. The bracket of 10. It's a trigger of 829.58. Even oil has frozen on this report. We've seen it happen. So you want to just be aware, be careful, okay? If a market freezes, it will unfreeze, okay? It doesn't stay frozen forever, but you could get stuck in a frozen market. It could work against you or it could work for you. You never know. You could get stuck in a frozen market and it's moving in the direction of your trade. And then when you get out, you might have a nice profit, or the opposite could happen. My gut feeling is, I don't know why, but I'm not expecting this to be quite as volatile as the brokers are expecting. Maybe I'm mistaken, but we'll see. And it doesn't matter. You just want to be prepared. So we have a bracket of 10, an activation time of 829.58. And I'm going to go for my bigger target on oil, but I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to go for a 40 tick target on oil because I'm only trading one, but I'm going to be prepared to move my stop and or my target into profit when I get the opportunity. Okay. So I'm looking for one position. We've got a target of 40. The stop is 20. And again, just trading one contract. Breakout trade trigger is 829.58. Bracket of 10. And then I'm going to scroll down. My input series matches CL223, which is the correct instrument that we're trading. And of course, I'm going to label it oil jobs. Okay. And I'll save my template, save NFP, which is what this trade is called, non-farm payrolls, US jobs, oil breakout, and today's date is the 6th. That's what I'm naming the template. Now, the one thing I'm going to do is check on my bracket. By setting my time to 0, making sure my charts are on sim. And when I enable a trade where the time is set to 0, it puts my brackets on. Okay. So I can see how volatile is this market. Is it filling me? Are the brackets staying safe? You know, I certainly anticipate volatility. It's something you expect on this type of a report. So again, it's a breakout. The activation time is 829.58. The instrument is CL0223. One position for a 40 tick target. Not sure, if we'll get that much. The stop is 20. And then I scroll down. And I'm checking my input series to make sure it matches the chart that I'm on. And then my account, I'm really trading, and I give the trade a label. Why do I give the trade a label? Because when you enable OK and enable, when you OK the trade at the end, you apply it and OK it, it puts the trade into the Ninja Trader control panel, this place here. And I use the label so it shows me the name of the strategy. Because sometimes we'll trade multiple setups. On a day when there's high margin, I don't trade multiple setups, okay? And then I put my charts on live. So what did I do also? Our software has a warning if you're going to trade live. It tells you account warnings enabled. When account warnings are enabled, if you're going to trade live, it tells you, are you trading live real money? Okay. So that's a safeguard. So it wakes you up if you didn't realize you were trading live. So my oil trade is ready. I probably have a template from previous trades also, previous jobs reports. If you go to template and load, you can find your old templates. NFP NQ breakout back in August. I have a lot of templates for the jobs report. ES range trade setups. And then they probably called some of them US jobs oil breakout. So there's always templates. Eventually you want to go through your templates and clean them off and get rid of some of them. So final time for the oil trade. Breakout 8:29.58 on the activation time. Bracket of 10. I'm just looking for one position, 40 tick target. Stop of 20. And then the input series is CL223. Trading on my real account. So I apply it and OK it and enable my trade by checking it. So my oil trade will work at 8:29.58. If you are interested in Canada, Canada was a whipsaw last month. I would use a bracket of 20 with a stop of 28. Entry time is 8:30. Targets, I'd probably go with targets of 8 and 35. Being prepared to manage your way out of a trade. Keep in mind, we are in an environment and have been for quite a while where most of the Canadian and Australian trades have turned into trap trades because they're reversing so heavily and because they're such bad liquidity trades. There's not a lot of orders. So yes, we do know that the gold, by the way, the gold market is opening right now. I'm just going to look at it quickly. We do know that previous Canadian jobs reports, when it trades with the US in particular, have been good as breakouts. But we're seeing more and more that the Canadian and Australian trades are better and better as trap trades, which are reversal type trades. So you want to be extremely careful if you're trading Canada. Look, you want to be careful trading anything, anytime you trade. But today, you know, we're looking at a higher risk scenario with everything. Gold market is opening right now. It's pretty flat at the moment. It's pretty flat at the moment. And you can see that very often the gold and the oil opens, very often they'll change direction from what's been going on at the moments before the event, which is always interesting. Not the best open I've ever seen, that's for sure. I generally don't trade the open when we have a jobs report or a CPI report. There's too much to think about. It can be very distracting, and there are people that trade them no matter what. Okay. Canada is 6C0323, $5 a tick. Okay. Canada is $5 a tick. I'm going to watch the US indices on this report because I want to see if they freeze, if we can tell. Usually we can. Hang on one second. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me, folks. I'm having an issue, and I have to deal with it, so don't go anywhere. All right, I'm going to reset myself up here. My charts were frozen for a second, so I wanted to make sure everything was okay. So I'll reload my trade setup. And that's why another great reason why if you save a template, if something should happen, like just happened to me just now, in 1 second, I can reload my trade template, one target, 40 ticks, a stop of 20, apply it and okay it, and I'm back in business, okay? I'm back in business. I'm going to check my bracket again, okay? So I'll set my time to 0 one more time. When I went to change my charts, you know, my charts just froze. So if that happens, I just had to reboot my platform. So if that happens, it happens. It's not the end of the world. Just don't panic. You know, just don't panic. reboot your platform, get yourself reset up. All right. Always have the phone number of your broker's trade desk handy. So if something should happen during a trade, you could call the trade desk. You know, you want to be prepared for anything that might happen. And one more time, I want to thank everybody that's watching us on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of people watching. Thank you so much for watching. 829.58. Hit the like button and the notification bell. We got a 10 bracket on oil. And I'm looking for a target of 40 ticks with a stop of 20. My time is back to 829.58. Charts back on live. Watching the NQ. I've got the news off to the side, okay? Because there's a lot of news. I don't want it blocking all my charts. We're going to check our time sync to see if we're in sync by going to the website time.is, and my computer is in sync. So now we've got about 4 minutes to go. The average earnings, they're forecasting 5%. They're forecasting 200,000 non-farm payrolls. I think it's going to be higher. I think it's going to be higher. So what the market would like is lower, because then maybe the Fed will see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of raising interest rates. Normally, a good jobs market means lots of jobs, and we always usually used to want lots of jobs. Nowadays, what the word seems to be is less jobs, because the market's overheated. The job market is too hot. So we shall see. What we want is just a move in one direction, a tradable move in one direction on the instrument that we're trading. That's what we're looking for, okay? So we've got about coming on 2 minutes. And you can see that oil's pretty volatile this morning, moving up and down, made a new low at 10 minutes to 8, pulled off that rather strongly. I remember the old days when a 25 tick move in oil was a lot. We're now in the days when 100 ticks doesn't surprise anyone. I remember the old days when 10 points on the NASDAQ was a lot. Now it's a sneeze. It's barely a blip. Now, don't forget, margins are raised. All the brokers mailed notes that they were raising their margins, almost all of them. Usually is very on time for this event. Okay, 10 seconds, not even. So what did I do? Whenever I left my charts on sim, I left my charts on sim, so I would have an opportunity to believe what I did. I cannot believe it, but it happens. I can't cry in a corner. An easy winning oil trade. Easy winning oil trade. Now, fortunately, Eric, I believe, remember when I said I didn't think the markets were going to explode as dangerously volatile as we thought, So let's get a roll call. Who traded? Who made money? Oil was an easy winner. Oil was an easy winner. Sim or live, easy winner. Who traded? Tell me what happened. Who traded? Tell us what happened to you. Okay. You know, it's not about me, folks. It's about what happened to you. Did you use our setup? Did you trade our setup? Did you make money with our recommendations? What happened on the news? Okay, what happened on the news? The average hourly earnings were better than expected, lower than 5%. That's good news. The jobs were up, but not monstrously up. So that's good news, okay? That's good news. So it wasn't a monster report. So maybe this is a very good report. Maybe this is a good report. We'll see. Okay, I'll leave. Eric was trading. If I didn't have the problem that I had, I didn't put my charts back on live. Okay. And
hey, Lee, good morning.
Still a winning trade. Good morning. I'm going to get your video. You traded gold?
Yes. Hey, I just wanted to, sorry to jump in there. Hey, I just want to say happy Friday to everybody. I know we have a nice audience today of all of our Pro Trader Plus members, and then all of our awesome 10-minute trade subscribers who are listening on YouTube. We do a free stream every week, and lucky for you, Lee chose this one. But yeah, first off, I just want to say congrats to some of the winners I see posted. And, you know, even if you traded sim, I still want you to post that you traded sim, because I want to just see that you're taking action, guys, and that you guys are practicing along with us. So you know some of these avatars better than me. So AirCal, you probably know who that is, but congrats to you, Ali, because I know that, you know, Ali's always been very what's the word? He's always honest about when he you know, has a losing trade, and I'm happy to see that you had a real a winner today with crude. Now, crude, Lee, you know the story with crude oil and jobs, and my experience with this. That was the first, and for everybody who's been here for over 10 years, crude oil, that was the only index that we used to trade for a lot of trades, including the jobs. So I sent Lee the video, but let me just pause for a second, Lee. Everything good?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
Okay. So Larry,
so
yeah.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second and just expound upon. So what Eric's saying, everyone, every single news report when the company first started used crude oil as the instrument. Think about that. Crude moved on everything. Crude was over $100 a barrel. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No, it's hard when you don't see each other, you know. But no, great job leading everyone. And to Lee's point, though, I'm rushing over here to show you guys what happened to gold, but it really is never about us. So behind the scenes, I know not everyone likes to. It's not even about bragging or anything. So I just want to say quietly, if it's one of you, if you quietly traded, don't feel like sharing, I just want to say congrats to you. I mean, what I love about the Pro Trade Room Plus is that Lee really does a thorough job in helping everyone set up for the trade. And we all make mistakes. And like even today's mistake of the sim live, that's going to happen to you, guaranteed. I had a mistake behind the scenes 2 months ago where I didn't see the warning that said, "Hey, you're trading live," and I couldn't get into the trade. So these things happen to everybody, and I appreciate Lee's always vulnerable, and he's here, and he's and it's good. And I'm rather it happened to one of us than to one of you. Okay, and I'm seeing more results come in now. So thank you very much, Larry and Denny, and I'll let Lee give it a shout out. But guys, let me just tell you quickly what happened to me in gold. I only trade. We have a lot of new members that just joined us, and I wanted to just show that you don't need to trade 10 contracts, right? If you have a smaller size account, and in truth, the account that I was trading with is not so big. I just traded one contract with gold, and the things I shared with everybody during the last 30 that I like to stick to a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So Lee, I see you have it queued up, right? Is that right?
That's your trade, yes.
Yeah. So just what's going to happen is, and just so you know, there was a 35 tick stop, right? So I was willing to risk $350 on gold. Guess how much my let me see if Lee could guess what my profit target was.
I know already because I saw it.
Well, it was 36. So I went one tick higher. And watch, if you're someone that thinks, oh, Eric, I'm not as fast as you, watch, you'll see that I was really slow on this one. So watch what happens, guys. Go ahead, Lee. So here it is. For a second, I'm like, what's going on here? And then, boom.
What happened there, Eric? Look what happened there. Gold moved.
Nothing.
Looks like gold moved the opposite way first.
Oh, maybe. Cue it back.
It's a good thing we have such a big bracket. Seriously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually was a little nervous with how big the bracket. Lee showing the recap of the live trade that we just took on.
Look what happened. Gold. Look at what happened to you.
Yes.
Gold
moved.
Right if there. We had a small bracket, we would have lost money. You would have lost money with a small bracket.
Yeah, Lee, we really gotta hype it up now. People need to understand. Like, see, this is why Lee's really the trading guru here. And this is really, and this is not, we're not selling anything today. There's nothing to sell. Everyone in our pro trade room, this is to make the point that one of the real values behind the scenes, it's Lee and I, we're shining, right? But behind the scenes, we have a whole team. Jay, Chantal, we actually have a lot of great members. I'll give some shout out, or Lee will give the shout outs where it's due. We're doing the homework, guys. We're doing the testing, right? There's a reason why we had a big bracket on the gold trade, right? It's not the same daily market mover report we send out every day. So, Lee, who gets credit for the larger bracket? Take it if it's for you. If it's you,
Chantal probably. Testing.
Chantal, who lives in Quebec, Canada. Chantal, say hello to everyone real quick in the chat. Behind the scenes, you want to know what Chantal focuses on? Chantal, that's really her number one job is to provide testing and support to us, and she tests to make sure. So if you guys want to make Chantal smile, say fake to Chantal in the chat, or just say quick hello. So as Lee pointed out, it went down, and then look what happened. Go ahead, Lee.
It exploded to the upside, didn't fill your target. It's all wick. And because we had a big stop, you survived that. It's like 2 events today that you survived. No joke. No joke.
Who's playing the lotto today, guys? Anyone guess who's playing the lotto today?
And then look what it does. It goes up and hits your target beautifully. And that's where you made your money. That was a crazy trade.
And look at that, 9 seconds. And that's actually slow. I think you made the point about Ali getting out a little early. You should know I was slow, Ali, on getting out here, because I was reading the DMM and I saw that in the last 6, that some of the trades like reversed in 2 seconds. And you notice like the movement up, right, with the big bracket. I was nervous myself. And like, oh my God, it's hit me up. There's no way it's going to go up 36 ticks more. But watch, guys, watch what happens. Like, again, watch it one more time, and then let's pivot to see if anyone has questions. And then there's one thing that I didn't do and you didn't do, and we're going to do it right now. So watch this. It peaks down for a second at 01, 02, it shoots up. Look, 03, 04, 05. See how slow I'm counting? 07. So I had, it may sound fast, but that was I had about like 5 seconds, and look where I got out. Didn't move a muscle. Look at my cursor. I didn't even hit the close button. I could have went back to sleep, or I could have went to give my kids. I have my kids home today, no school. I could have left the trade, and that's why we call it a bread and butter, right? So I'm very happy because yesterday, in truth, we had 2 family money trades today and yesterday, and gold worked beautifully today. And yesterday, you want to know something? I traded gold or wanted to trade gold, but guess what? I didn't send Lee my new machine ID. So guess what? I couldn't get in. My software wasn't activated. Okay. And Arthur, good question. And Lee, just one thing before I go and pass the mic back to you. Let's go over the results for the jobs report. Would you mind pulling up Forex or whatever you like?
Yeah, I did.
But I want to see it again. Do you mind?
So no. So what happened? Here's what I believe. Here's why I think the NQ is up. If you look, the NQ is up. So they wanted bad jobs news. It was good, but not outrageously good. 223,000 jobs were created. 200,000 were expected. So not outrageously good, but okay. So I think the market was relieved that it wasn't better. And also the average hourly earnings were lower than expected. So that's less inflationary, and the market liked that as well. So I think those are the key numbers. The employment rate going down is to be expected because the jobs market is still hot. That's probably a negative. Those are the key takeaways that I see from the news at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what? Lee made this point earlier about, like, for gold, for example. If you want to pull the gold chart up, the news is overall positive, right? The jobs report, it was 20,000, 23,000 more jobs that were created. The unemployment rate went down by 0.2%. And if you read the DMM, Jay makes a point to say that the real weight is on the percentage of jobs more than the jobs created, right? The non-farm employment change number versus the unemployment rate, that carries more weight. But what's interesting is that if you look at the gold chart, right, you would expect that gold would trend down, right? Because it's positive news. But as Lee mentioned to us, it's not always the case. And you actually, if you look at gold, it did shoot down initially, and maybe that's the quick little reaction, I don't know, but gold is trending up, right? So it's another reason why sometimes I think people ask us, oh, why don't you just play one side? You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, we don't need to do that. And we don't need, the market's going to react the way the market wants to react. And we're still able to take advantage of that spike. So last thing, let me just answer Larry, make a few more PSAs, Lee, and I'm going to pass it back to you and I'm going to go, okay?
No problem.
So first of all, Larry asked, what do you mean by slow? Because I was saying how I was moving slow, but the target was set already. So not Larry, Arthur. So you're 100% right, Arthur. What I mean by I was slow, meaning that, like, normally when you saw me in the video, I like to move my mouse, obviously, right? And I like to grab my profit targets and get out, right? That's kind of I see the green, get out. And that was my plan. In fact, I think I may have even hit the break-even button. Lee, would you mind queuing that up one more time?
I did not see you do that, so let's see if you did.
Let's see. I thought I wanted to. Let me see if I did. And for those watching again on YouTube, I want to welcome everyone. Thanks for sticking around. You guys got a nice inside look today of our Pro Trade Room Plus.
Quite a few people on YouTube made some money also.
Awesome. Well, while Lee's queuing the video up, because I don't see Lee.
Oh, so I went past. I'm sorry.
No worries. By the way, just really quickly, Leon, here, just, there's a lot of great tools, free tools that we mentioned to everyone. Loom is a great tool. I'm using Loom to record my trade here. Okay, look at my mouse cursor.
You hit the break. You did hit the break even button.
Okay. So, and I don't know if that was a good idea, was it, Lee?
When you're in profit, yeah, obviously if you're in profit, watch what happens. So you were in profit, in a way, it could have made a flat trade. That the negative is that if it pulled back more than it did, you wouldn't have made any money. So sometimes hitting the break even button too soon will hurt your profit, but you'll get out
Right.
flat if it pulls back. In this case, you survived 3 crazy things that happened. A move in the wrong direction with a bracket that was good, a huge burst and a fill that our stop survived, and then you hit the break even button and it didn't pull back and hit the break even button. It hit your target instead. So you had the trifecta of good results on this trade.
Listen, good fortune. Well, sometimes even the most successful people, right? Everyone, a good fortune it's good to have. And so you want to call it fortune. It's great. But you know what the thing is that I want people to understand, right? All of our 10-minute trade, Pro Trade Room Pro Trade Room Plus members, that behind the scenes, look, I'm trading quietly in my office. Nobody's watching me like Lee. But you want to know something? I'm not doing anything aggressively. I don't want to lose money, guys. I want to make sure that I win. So the break even, that was a very conservative move, right? I did that to protect myself. And like Lee mentioned, I put myself at risk at getting not stopped out, but getting pulled out at break even. That's totally conservative, right? Instead of just letting it ride. My point is that when I'm trading quietly behind the scenes and no one's watching me, I'm training myself, and I trade the same way. I'm not trading one way when I'm live and one way when I'm not live. So make sure, especially like the 360, imagine I was trading 10 contracts today, right? That's $3,600. You need to make sure that you're building good habits when you're starting out small, because if you start having bad habits, so Ali, for example, I'll do one more shout out for Ali, and then that's it. The fact that you got out early because you were nervous at 240, right? Think about that. Good for you. You got out with the green. Oh, excuse me. I got the cleaning crew today. So, Leah, just one other thing, and I'm going to go. For all of our Pro Trading Plus members, Lee and I are going to do a special welcome session on Monday. More information to follow. I just want to say congrats to everybody. And for our YouTube who joined in today, thank you for being with us. Lee, I'm going to pass it back to you and want to wish congratulations to all of our winners. And what a great way to start the year. In truth, both family money trades work this week on gold, and we have different options. So that's why some people may have chosen a different index, but I'm happy to see both family money trades work out. Lee, back to you.
Okay. All right, folks. So one interesting thing, though, is MCL was a little bit troubled on this trade. Sometimes the micros do not trade exactly the same way as the full size index. So it means we have to do even more testing these days to get to check the micros. It's a lot of extra work. But CL looked real good. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? I was really looking forward to a good trade. Members making money, it's always the most important thing. Oil definitely has been trading well on this report. Let's take a quick look at Canada. Did anyone trade the Canadian report? It looks like it did the same thing that gold did, shot down and then went up. Canada, you did a trap. Okay, so Chantal, remember what I said in the beginning, that Canada has been doing better as a trap trade. Now, it would have depended also on bracket size. Chantal, would our bracket size have worked on Canada? I think, what we say? Let me check what we said on the bracket. 20 on a breakout. I used a bracket of 20. But you used a pretty big trap trade. Going forward with Canada and almost all of the Australian trades at this moment in time, most of them are trap trades. Most of them are trap trades. So I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube. Hit the like button and the notification bell on your way out. We're going to shut down the stream, and we'll see you next week on YouTube for our stream of the week next week. So thanks for watching, everyone. And does anybody